I can't get enough of Goblin Welder. All right, welcome back, vintage gamers, and more experiments with Goblin Welder. We're going to do a different approach this time than our last few attempts. Our last few attempts have been very much looking to make it very toolboxy, very, giving yourself lots of options with needles and lanterns and that kind of lower power, higher versatility card. Today we're going to go for higher power, lower versatility in a Lurrus direction. So this is a list from DFA. We're going to cut those emeries and we're going to play POs. There was really no reason we couldn't have been playing POs in my other list besides the fact that it costs slots. And, I mean, PO is extremely powerful, but I also think a PO is a little bit vulnerable these days. So it also requires you to add in extra things like Mana Vault, Opal, which you may or may not want. So we're going with a blue-red Lurrus PO deck here. Full 8 welders and engineers, only 3 cams. Some more of our blue powerful spells like Merchant Scroll and Chain. And then trimming down on the 1 Astrolabe. We've got some extra baubles in our deck because we're cutting emery, so we need more way to get cards in the yard. So I have an extra 2 baubles and a Lotus Petal that will get to our yard. Including a Thundering Falls, which will help us generate late game advantages, put cards in the yard that we want. The Thundering Falls obviously, comes at a cost in this deck because you do want to play turn 1 Welders and Engineers, but I also think it's one of the decks that uses the graveyard the best because we're using Welders and Engineers and Lurrus. So 1 Tundra helps us cast, fetch will help us cast Lurrus off of, Tundra, Petal, Opal, Lotus, and Pearl, and Astrolabe, but mostly because we want to have access to the 1 portable hole, which I think is quite powerful. In, my original list, I had access to that Demonic Tutor, but you might just not need a Demonic Tutor. It might be hard to cast Demonic Tutor on average, and you have a Goblin Engineer, which is basically Demonic Tutor anyways. So sideboard, one of the cool things about this deck is it pairs up nicely against the Raker metagame that we're currently in with Null Rods. Our deck can Null Rod our opponent and then weld out our Null Rod when we don't want it to win the game. Also, we can win through Null Rod with just looping Extruder and Cam. So something to keep in mind. We've got a full range of Lithomantic Barrages here. This is an anti-mono white card, but it also, you can bring it in against Frog when you're boarding out Force of Will because it's going to deal 5 damage on counterloot to Frog. Usually that's going to be enough. And if it's not enough, then, you're time to start racing. Power Blast, again, another card we can do in. And then the one major change I made from DFA's original list is I found that you really needed to have access to a Braid as this split spell that kills opponent artifacts like Null Rods or Scrawling Crawlers, because our deck is not amazing against Scrawling Crawler, but also splits into a Raker removal spell. So just trying my best to put ourselves in a position where we have good matchups into the field. One thing that is happening, this video will air on Wednesday. On the following Saturday is the last Vintage Showcase of the season. There should be some LCQs after that, but the last major Vintage Showcase of the season, last major chance to qualify for the qualifier event. And I don't think PO is in a very good spot. I think Lurrus PO is at its best when Lurrus Frog is the best deck. If Lurrus Frog is not the most played deck, then you're kind of losing your advantage versus the field because Lurrus PO is a very Jund-esque deck. You're going 50-something% against the field, and you're losing your best matchup for not being the most played deck. I don't think the Raker matchup is bad, but in the data certainly suggests that if you pair up to normal Lurrus PO versus normal Raker Shop's Pilot, that the Raker Shop Pilot will come out slightly favored. I think it's maybe slightly the other way personally, but that might just be my skill level or something. And I can make the Jeskai Lurrus PO deck better against Raker. You can do things like add Demonic Tutor, add Needles, maybe even add Dolrons, but I think you're kind of just throwing away the reason to play Lurrus PO when there's no Frog. So I'm thinking of some other options, thinking of some more powerful things, thinking about Time Vault Keys, thinking about Tinkers, POs, Doomsdays, that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. But for now, let's try out this Welder deck in a little bit more of a powerful blue-red Paradoxical Outcome Shell. I am happy to announce the dates for high-stakes, proxy-friendly vintage in 2026. The legendary NYSE returns to Long Island in New York on June 6th. This $500 entry fee tournament will pay out 8 pieces of unlimited power. The Oklahoma Land Run returns in 2026 on July 10th through 12th at the Reed Convention Center in Oklahoma City. Play Friday Team Trios, Saturday Legacy for a Mox Sapphire, and Sunday Vintage for a Mox Emerald. Event links can be found in the description below. I hope to see you there. Let's battle. All right, round one. So I did try to film this yesterday, actually. But sometimes Magic just does not hit in the right spots. I got turn 1 Volt Keyed 4 games in a row. And I just decided, you know, breaks are good. Sometimes you just gotta take a break. And so that's what we did. And we're back here, fresh, ready to go for another attempt. I had after Saturday's challenge too. That was a compounding one where I got bullied in Saturday's challenge. My opponent currently on a mulligan to 5. I've got a hand that has a force and a misstep, so I'm pretty happy. Obviously, nothing crazy to do, but I also, you know, don't forget we, you know, abandoned our Tinker and we have Lurrus now, so we actually do have Lurrus, Lotus, return Lurrus. We can start cracking cams at some point. It looks like mono white. It happens sometimes when you're mono white, you just don't have the right cards. That puts us in a good spot, though we won't be able to maybe counter whatever their first spell is. Though if we start looping some cams, might be pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna go Sapphire, Soul Ring. I don't think my opponent has any counter spells, so I'm not really worried about playing around Trap. If I was worrying about playing around Trap. My opponent is saying some funny stuff in chat. What I want to say is I never want to, when I'm talking about an opponent, be like personally attacking an opponent. That's never my intention. My intention is always for both of us to gain as much information we can out of our practice session together and come out of it better for it. I want, you know, so what does that mean? That means that I want to find as many of my own personal mistakes I make, and I also want to try to identify where the opponent can make better choices as well. And it's hard to do that from my side of the table without perfect information, to be fair. I don't know what's in my opponent's hand, but I can make guesses. And as long as I'm not trying to, you know, as long as I'm not overextending myself and like saying absolutes in a spot where I don't have absolute knowledge, I think that's a good thing that we should both be trying to do. So yeah, if I ever play against you and you feel that I was too mean or anything, just let me know, and I'll apologize and we can work it out. But yeah, so my opponent here, mulligan to 5, which is, you know, common with this mono white initiative deck, played a Cavern and then is playing a Chrome Mox that they must have, maybe they drew his turn or maybe they held it. But I'm going to, because I don't think I'm going to be able to force whatever they play after, I think I'm going to force this Chrome Mox. So how could this go badly? If my opponent goes land Void Mirror, I can't loop Lotus. But if they go Anointed Peacekeeper, I guess it's okay, because I don't know that they're going to go Anointed Peacekeeper. They could go White Plume Adventure, and in which case I can tap White Plume Adventure down with Cam and take the initiative. Wow, this was a blue land, a white land actually. Oh, they're just gonna go. Wait, interesting. So why would they play a Chrome Mox? Oh, so they can play an Archon. I see. That makes perfect sense. Okay, cool. Well, I'll force that shit. That makes okay. Now I understand what's going on here. Okay. All right, sure. So their last card. Oh, maybe they drew the Archon, and no, that's not a cleric. So I still think they have a cleric, right? Oh, well, I think that means the game is over. Yeah, I think that means the game is over, sadly. I was ready to play a really fun, like, surveillance cam, sacking every turn, drawing cards game, but sometimes you have paradoxical outcome and for power. As in Black Lotuses. This is like the kind of thing that we didn't really see on Saturday's stream, right? I don't know if anyone watched the skateboard titled video, but like, I don't have a Mana Vault in that deck, to be fair, and I don't have Lurrus in that deck. Or no, I did have Lurrus in that deck, but like, I had the ability to have like Soul Ring, thing, Lotus, whatever, and sometimes you just don't draw those cards, and then that's what I'm talking about. Like, sometimes you are not going to win games of Magic. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that's okay. You just need to accept that sometimes that's going to happen. Now, were all of the games that? No, and there were a bunch of games that were definitely we could have upped our chances of winning by playing better. But sometimes, like I said, I think it's important to take a step back and look and see, okay, well, which of these actions were things that I should have done differently, and which of these were things that were out of my control. So I'm going to get rid of a lot of the artifacts because it can be hard sometimes to get them into play. I'm bringing in all of our anti-mono white removal, as well as our abrades, which double as Null Rod, Void Mirror, and some removal against mono white. I actually think we have a pretty nice looking mono white start. I will say that our blue count is going to be a little low for force. But it's really hard to take out force because you still want to be like, forcing a Void Mirror on turn 1 in a lot of games. I think I'm just going to keep taking out this stuff. Like, obviously, it's going to be harder to get artifacts into our yard. But like these cards just are so medium against mono white. For 5, 7, 13, 20, no, 5, 10, 12, 20. Going lower than 20 is not something I'm trying to do here, but I'm also, maybe I could get rid of, maybe I could get rid of an engineer. It's probably my next one to get rid of. Let's try that. So yeah. So let's see. All right, I have an ancestral. So this is a kind of hand that you keep and you sometimes lose. We have the force to get us there, but like if opponent has, I don't know, Vexing Bauble and Void Mirror, that's, our Vexing Bauble and Clarion Conqueror, or, some kind of hand like that. So what I'm saying is there's risk involved in this kind of keep, but I think it's within range. I wouldn't keep this hand if I didn't have a force. Like, say this force was another like powerful blue or red card. I don't think you're supposed to keep this hand. You just don't have a high chance of resolving your ancestral. I'm going to let the first Chrome Mox go. I don't. Yeah, I want to let the first Chrome Mox go. Clarion Conqueror removed. That's good. So now the problem is if my opponent goes Cavern another Clarion Conqueror, that's like the big problem here. I'm gonna let it go though. I think I need to risk it. Yeah, all right. See, oh wow, yeah, Cavern another Clarion Conqueror. I mean, the good news is that this locks out all of their mana. So now I have to draw a land that makes blue mana, which is fine. Like, that's a high percentage chance in my deck. So like, this was a risky set of plays for me, but I think it was something that worked out very well, especially because, it hurts my opponent as well, right? They're losing out on their 2 Mox in here. They have an Ancient Tomb. Do they have a 3rd Dragon? So there's no way I'm bouncing this guy yet. I think we're just starting with Ancestral, seeing if we can build out our mana, get to a point where maybe we can win. It is worth noting that Chain is kind of an annoying card in my deck where you don't want to be able to have, your opponent bounce some of your things sometimes, but I'm going to lead with an island here. All right, now we're in a great spot here. I will say that we overdrew a little bit, right? No, actually we're fine. I think I'm going to take a time walk. Build out my mana here. These PO. See, this is the other side of PO where you just don't have the moxin that you need. I don't think I'm ever stealing the initiative. So I am going to Goblin Engineer for a Time Vault. I'm going to play a Manifold Key. So the risk of playing a Manifold Key is that my opponent like hits a land and plays a Witch Enchanter, killing my Manifold Key. But then I can still bring it back over 2 turns with Goblin Engineer. So right now I cannot bring anything back with Goblin Engineer because it is also turned off by Clarion Conqueror. Wasteland, we played around that one. Now, this is a great spot for our Lithomantic Barrages or our Braids. But again, we have stock up. We're dying in 4 attacks, which is not too bad. Another PO. Yeah, I'm going to cast stock up. All right, there's a Braid and a Lithomantic Barrage and a Sewer Cam. And no land, actually, is kind of the major one here. So I think I'm going to take this Lithomantic Barrage. I didn't hit a land. The land is the thing I really wanted to hit because it would have given me the mana next turn to... I need another red mana to win. I guess we'll take the Mana Vault because we can theoretically PO. Or if I'm like worried my opponent like draws the 3rd dragon, I can just take another Abrade. I think I'll just take another Abrade. I don't really think I care about these other stuff. I guess I can attack for 1. There's no Flash Dragon that I should be aware of. Pearl turned off. Yeah, this is definitely the downside of Clarion Conqueror in this deck. It's not free, but certainly worth it. Like if I don't draw a land on turn 1 in this game, I'm going to be in a really bad spot. So I got a little lucky, right? So let's see. What I could do is I could chain the Clarion Conqueror and see if my opponent... Oh, wait, I guess chain works better, right? Oh, I guess my opponent can bounce the key, but, like, it's not going to really work out for them. This is not the sorcery speed one, like Oswald. So I think I will just go for chain. Because right now I can activate engineer, even if they sack something. They probably are supposed to sack something, but I don't think it matters. Yeah, they're going to sack and go for what? I guess the key is the best one to go for. The engineer is not going to do it because I can go instant speed here. So I'm going to time vault, swap in my time vault here with that on the stack, and then go for infinite turns. All right. My opponent didn't really get to play these games. They mulliganed really hard in game 1, which is just something that you have to accept with mono white. And then game 2, you know, I can't know their hand, but I think a turn 1 Clarion Conqueror is, especially uncounterable Clarion Conqueror, is something to strive for, especially in this matchup where I'm playing 8 creatures that get turned off and all these artifacts that get turned off. Just so happened that I hit the lands I needed to play through a little bit of a longer game here, played some pieces of power in 1 anyways. But this game could have easily gone another way. I mean, I took a bunch of hits before I was able to establish that. I mean, there are like, you know, there are a variety of hands that I could have kept though. You know, I could obviously have just kept like lands and barrages here, and then, you know, but then my opponent has access to extra white mana, and they can maybe cast some of the remaining spells in their hand. Who knows? But yeah, that's a nice little game 1 win, and let's go to game 2. All right, we're out here trying again with Lurrus versus No Props. I got to meet No Props briefly in Japan, which was pretty cool. Always like to see and meet people who play Magic together. Spend a lot of time together, right? No Props, a very powerful wizard. Was doing extremely well on Eternal Weekend at the time. I guess that is something that happens when you swap up when you're recording. A lot of times I'll be recording in the evening. Don't get to play against this set of players as much. right. Opponent is on a mulligan to 6. No Lurrus reveal. We have a force if our opponent is on Jewel, but we don't actually have a blue card right away. Certainly signals Jewel or Raker. Is it going to be Soul Ring? I was going to say, is it going to be Vexing Bauble? Or Grim Monolith? So if we draw a blue card, I'm going to play Goblin Welder. If we draw a... Okay, it's still going to be Vexing Bauble. So my force is not going to be... Oh, okay. So we're just going to die. My bad. So we're definitely playing a Goblin Welder out. I did draw my blue card. It's just not online anymore. I don't think there's any value in me playing my own Vexing Bauble, so I'm going to get a Welder out just in case he goes for Jewel and whiffs, and I can steal the Jewel. It's like the only thing we can do. These Vexing Bauble games, so like I really didn't mind Vexing Bauble as a 4-of. It felt like, I mean, this is a reoccurring theme. When Vexing Bauble was a 4-of, I felt like I understood that games would revolve around Vexing Bauble, and that I would have to change my sequencing and change my my game plans and my keeps, and also change my my deck building. So like I could play around Vexing Bauble existing, but when there's one Vexing Bauble, you're really not supposed to factor it into your game plan, and sometimes you just get hosed. So the good news here is my opponent did go all in on a Jewel, and I played a creature. Looks like a Metamorph is coming. Right now, they can't play any zeros because they have a Vexing Bauble. If they find, they can crack a Vexing Bauble first, but then we'll have Force. So this game is not lost, even though my opponent's resolved a Jewel, because I have a creature and I have a Force. So we'll see what happens here. It'll be interesting. Because if my opponent does not find a way... if they directly hit Sink into Stupor, they can just bounce Welder, and that'll work. But if they don't, then there's a possibility here that we could get to a turn, attack, and steal the jewels, which would most likely win the game on the spot. Keeps making white mana. Don't know. I guess it's not blue mana. All right, another Metamorph, another Jewel. 9 cards in my opponent's hand. Metamorph is like the sicko glue card in this deck. It's definitely the reason this deck works. It doesn't even have to be Jewel. Like I was playing the Tony version of Jewel recently, and you're just like metamorphing defilers and stuff. Please don't cast Sink into Stupor on my Welder. Oh, Transmute Artifact. Yeah, so it may be a different version, maybe Tony version. So I assume this is going to be Jewel for a Jewel. Oh, Jewel for a Time Vaults. And a key. And a land. All right. I got turn 1. Or I guess it wasn't turn. I kind of got turn 1, right? They played a Vexing Bauble, so I couldn't counter it on turn 2. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like what happens. Like you just get Vexing Baubled sometimes, and you don't really get counterplay anymore because you're not trying to get counterplay anymore. It's okay. We got some Null Rods, a Needle. I think I like Pyroblast very much. I did not play Mindbreak Trap this time, which might be not great. Portable Hole is not very good. Mental Misstep is not bad, but it's not amazing either. I want to be like full combo oriented. I don't actually think my own Vexing Bauble is very good. I've kind of stopped playing Vexing Bauble on the play against Jewel. That could be wrong. I'd love to hear what other people think, but some of these workshop decks have like a large swath of capable, powerful hands that don't involve Moxen. And it feels like a decent, like not like an overwhelming amount of the time, but a decent amount of the time, like I'll go Vexing Bauble turn 1 and they'll just go, okay, cool, uncounterable Ring. And you're like, well, is this what I wanted to do? And to be fair, like there's not like a million hands that are uncountable Ring, but even like anything that's like Workshop Monolith Ring, Workshop Soul Ring, like obviously the most common one is like Workshop Mox Ring, so you might stop that, but I don't know. That's just how I feel. I'm gonna take these cards out and bring these cards in and try to run it like this though. I do think that Raker should be a better matchup for us than Jewel because Jewel is just so fast, but I think Jewel should be one of our better matchups too. This has a force, a bauble, and infinite mana into black mana, which is not amazing, but I have a force. I think I want to mulligan this hand, but it's definitely close. On the draw, I might... I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't keep this hand. I don't know. We have part of our combo, and we have a force, and we have a redraw, and we have a time walk. I mean, it's like super easy to keep if I have mana at all, but without mana, it just doesn't seem... I feel like we can just do better. Um... Um... Okay, I'm gonna keep this hand. I'm gonna get rid of chain. And now what I'm gonna do is... I think I'm going to not cast Null Rod right away. I'm gonna put... I was thinking of putting like Astrolabe in my yard. Because Engineer itself doesn't have a very good cam combo or anything like that. Where an Astrolabe can actually get us to something that matters. And next turn we can have Needle for the One Ring. I don't think I want to use my Lotus yet. I don't think I want to like tutor up Time Vault because I'm so far from Time Vault. I don't want to play Null Rod because I can't play the game. So here's a Sapphire. And a Tomb. And a Monolith. Oh, and a Bauble. Sure. Well, we got ahead of the Bauble at least. And a Time Walk. Okay. Classic Time Walk off of Sapphire. So, I mean, if this is... Let's see what it follows up with. I mean, that's a reason to like theoretically keep in Mental Misstep every game is Vexing Bauble. And I definitely keep in Mental Misstep more on the draw now against random decks that Mental Misstep isn't technically good against because of Vexing Bauble being even a possibility. You know, if it was a 4 of, then I would keep it in all the time, but now it's more variable. Maybe that's a better thing. But yeah. All right, Workshop. Are we playing a ring or are we playing... God, please don't play a Masticore. Okay, a ring. A ring is fine. We have answers to ring. That's just one card off of ring. Basically just cantrips it. It's the Powered Needle. And a Monolith. So about a bajillion mana here. I mean, we could just Null Rod at this point. Welder 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go green, red, and turn my my Emerald into an Astrolabe. Okay, so we are now a Surveillance Cam away from killing our opponent with a Null Rod in play. Okay. So... And I can start Weldering Astrolabe every turn to draw a card. So I think we're in a great spot, if assuming that our Null Rod resolves here. Oh, actually, I need to get the extruder into the yard. I guess that's a problem. Well, I have an Astrolabe to draw us into some lands. Should be fine. I wanted to play this Null Rod before the third spell, so I didn't get randomly trapped. They're going to crack the bottle and try to find force. Okay. I'm going to still name the One Ring. just in case they go like Tolarian Bounce. So now we can weld out our Astrolabe every turn. This is kind of a reason sometimes I like to have 2 Astrolabes in my deck if you're like welding out both Astrolabes at the same time. But maybe that's not necessary because this is drawing a card every 2 turns. Whereas if you have 2 Astrolabes, you're drawing a card every turn. But so we have a card advantage engine. We have no mana. If we can find our way to Surveillance Cam Extruder, we'll have a win through it. If he's got a Masticore, okay, that's a Paradox engine, sure. We'll have to see if he swaps to like a Masticore board 3 or on the play keeps with the Jewel Plan. We found a land already, so now we can actually do 2 activations per turn. I could swap out my opponent's Paradox engine for a Vexing Bauble. I don't think that matters a lot, though. So I think I would rather just double activate. I guess there's no technical reason for me to do it now. Well, there's no reason for me to do it now. So I can leave up my welder activation. Okay, there's no reason for me to do it now. I could attack, but I think that's worse. Because neither of these are both instant speed. Also gives me the opportunity to like maybe get rid of Null Rod if I wanted to. Also gives me the opportunity if my opponent bounces Null Rod, I can weld Null Rod out, weld Null Rod back in. So I think just playing instant speed here is like all the rage, all the rage. It's what I think what I'll be doing. It's gonna give me the most. We're just like now it's hard for my opponent to bounce any of my things because their deck doesn't actually make blue mana. But if they go to Tolarian Academy, all things change. So okay, so here at end step, I'm gonna weld my Lotus for an Astrolabe, or engineer my Lotus for an Astrolabe, and then change my Ruby for an Astrolabe. Draw a card, new welder, untap, draw. Cam. Okay, so I think I win then. So yeah, I draw through my whole deck, and yeah, okay, cool. So I will weld out Astrolabe for a Ruby, and then I will play a Cam. Tap this. We'll weld out this, and I'll draw through my deck. And then we'll eventually figure out a way to play through this. I can at some point get rid of the Null Rod and then just win. They will get to draw, but I'll have all the forces in my hand already, so. And this is a beautiful example of why I'm considering this deck actually as a legitimate showcase playable deck, because it is a artifact combo deck, so it's still putting together, you know, powerful plays, but it can also play Null Rod. I think right now you want to be a deck that plays Null Rod to like really punish Raker and you know, Jewel and PO and that kind of thing, or you want to be a deck that plays like a really powerful game plan. So we don't know if my opponent will bring in like Masticores and stuff. We can technically weld Masticores out, but it's not pretty. I could bring in a Braid. I just don't think Braid hits enough stuff, but it does hit Paradox Engine. I'm kind of interested in possibly bringing in some of Braid's. Maybe that's like silly, but oh, maybe I did talk about bringing the misstep back in. What am I gonna cut, man? I guess I'll cut a Bauble. I can cut an island, maybe. Maybe I'll just bring in a Braid. So I have a nice answer if I want to. I mean, I can't tutor it is a problem. So it's like, what does bringing in one a Braid really do? It means I can draw it when it's not good. Okay, so this is an interesting hand. It has a Mana Crypt. It has Stock up turn 1. It has Null Rod. It does not have a Force into the opening. So if my opponent goes for a powerful turn 1 play, it's a problem. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it. I think my opponent now has like a range of playing like a slower Massacre game as well, so... God, please don't play a third Vexing Bauble. Oh, wait. Could play turn 1 Ring. I mean, if I play turn 1 Ring, then I'm just playing a Null Rod, right? Oh, turn 1 Karn. Okay. Turn 1 Karn. That is probably game losing. I don't think I'm beating a turn 1 Karn. I don't know. I have 4 forces in my deck. Should I be mulliganing to them? It's tough. How often? You know, like if it's a turn 1 Ring, I'm fine. If it's a, you know, turn 1 Karn, I'm not. I also didn't have it. Yeah, I mean, maybe the answer is I just have to have Mind Break Traps in my board. Jewel is so frustrating. The answer might just be I have to have the Mind Break Traps. But, like, I'm never cutting any of these cards, so it's not like I would have had Mind Break Trap in my opener. I just would have had better mulliganing ability. Like, I'm never, like, none of these cards are cards that I'd be cutting, so... It's just like, do you keep this hand? I think, like, Karn is, like, an extreme outlier, right? Where a lot of hands that do a powerful thing on turn 1 that don't win the game immediately, like, get stopped by Null Rod. Yeah, he got a Masticore out of his board. Yeah, that's not good. Oh, well... When there's a will, there's a way. I guess he just plays a Masticore and kills my Welder, but... Don't have an artifact in my yard, though. I would have to draw Engineer. I don't think this is going to work out in any way that makes me happy. Pretty sure it's super doomed. We'll see. We'll give it a shot. Turn 1 Karn is a challenging card to have in general. But monoliths can help get you there. Some restricted cards can get you there. See what opponents got in terms of mana. Obviously, they tutored for an Argenta Masticore, which is incredible against everything we're trying to do here. It's kind of why I was thinking about Braids. Another artifact. I will say, if nothing bad happens on this turn, a Null Rod is still good here. Because they don't have the mana to play Masticore. Okay, never mind. They just have Workshop. Okay. I'm an idiot. All right. So where does that leave us with a Welder? Okay, so I'm gonna play Mana Crypt out. I'm gonna play. I don't think I'm playing around Mind Break Trap. I think I'm just gonna play a Surveillance Cam out, and then I'm gonna play a Null Rod. I guess I can attack first. Yeah, I think playing around Mind Break Trap here with my opponent having 2 cards doesn't seem right. So I should just play Surveillance Cam, untap my Welder, and play a thingy. Also, again, I guess Force of Will that I can weld the Null Rod in. All right, so my opponent is now on a Masticore in hand, Workshop Saga. They need to have drawn another land to play Masticore. Unfortunately, I don't have any of their artifacts in the yard, so I can't weld the Masticore out, which is kind of why I wanted to maybe have a Braid. My opponent can plus on my Mana Crypt to deny me a mana, but I still have enough mana to stock up next turn. So it'll be interesting. I think we're still far behind, but an artifact in our yard gives us infinite welder activations, which is something. So if like I get to like a Legion Extruder, that can win through the Karn. This problem is this Masticore that my opponent tutored with the Karn. So like they didn't bring in the Masticore, but they still got access to the Masticore is not great. Getting a Vexing Bauble. Do they have the land to play the Masticore? That's the question. If they don't have the land to play the Masticore, I think this game is actually not in a bad spot, like a playable spot. Okay. Sweet. Wait, the Null Rod might do it then. Okay, so what are you're just going to kill my Mana Crypt, I assume? Take me off of mana. And all right, my opponent still has a Workshop, though. So like anytime they draw a Workshop or an Ancient Tomb or a Tolarian Academy, we die to the Masticore. But we've got a little time now. I kind of don't hate it. We can't kill this Karn with Welder because it just pluses every turn. But if they minus, we can kill it. Oh, stand up the ring. Okay, I like that. Are they going to attack with the ring? Or are they going to probably attack with the ring? Indestructible, notably. Okay, no attack with the ring. Mana Crypt takes me damage. Pearl I can't cast because they played a Bauble. So I have enough mana to stock up and Welder here. So let's go stock up. Needle, Ancestral. Mountain. Okay. All right, I'm down for Needle, Ancestral. Probably going to cast Ancestral and try to get a land. I think I want to have the... I think I would rather have the Needle than the Mountain and just try to hit the Mountain. Easy. Okay. I forgot. I also still have Lurrus in this game. I can't cast Lurrus, though, without other mana. So I guess I don't really have Lurrus this game. All right. This is Karn the Great Creator. Unfortunately, No Props is really good at this game and did tutor up a Vexing Bauble with Saga, so I can't actually force the Masticore, which would be really good here. He's taking 2 damage a turn. I'm taking 1.5. If I can get 2 Welders in play, then I have some time to swap things out if he goes to kill Null Rod. Okay, tap Spring. So I need 1 mana land now. Cam. Wait, what if I just get the Hardcast Force? I almost have it right away. Yeah. Okay. So in that case, I think I will start playing these Welders and get this Karn out of here. And I have a Force. Okay. Wait. We might be doing it. I think attacking the Karn is better than attacking their life total, but I could be wrong there. I have to leave open a bajillion mana every turn, but I have a Thundering Falls here and a Surveillance Cam to make additional mana. Oh, they hit the Ancient Tomb. So it's Masticore time, but I was ready for that. Oh, Mightstone, Weakstone. Yeah. You got a Mightstone, Weakstone. Now they have a Metamorph target. Killing a Welder. I need to be able to counter Masticore, I think, so... This can put an artifact in my yard. Thundering Falls. Put an art... Oh my god. All right. Now I have a Welder online. The very least, I want to change this Crypt for a Sapphire. I don't think taking... I don't have a draw card in play, so I don't have any other plays. I don't have an extruder, but I have a stock up I could hit something off of. Time Walk. Let's cast Time Walk. Let's cast stock up. Let's get Time Volt and Welder. Time Vault, Welder, attack Karn. Oh, we win. All right, that does it. Extruder, Weld, Extruder. Sorry, Weld, Cam, and Crypt. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Weld, Extruder, and Cam. Well, that works. Always yes, always yield. Weld, Cam, and Extruder. Always yield. All right, that's a crazy good win. That was a beautiful win, and we still had this force for this Master Core. I think we got a little lucky. Opponent didn't hit that 5 mana right away, or we probably would have lost this game. But we just played through turn 1 Karn and won. That's pretty cool. Okay. Here we go. I have a cat. I can already tell you this league is going a little bit better. Things have kind of been flowing in the right direction. I would say we've drawn some very powerful hands. Our poor mono white opponent got turn 1 Lurrus. But in general, we've been hitting the cards we're looking for here. I've been pretty happy with 3 cams so far, which is interesting. This hand needs a mana. This hand also needs a mana. Man. Kind of frustrating. 2 Mox in hands, but they don't really do anything. This is the red mana coming out to get me again. I don't know. I think I just want to mulligan and hope for something better. I mean, this is not much better, but it does have a Vault Key. I think my plan here is going to be draw a blue card, because drawing a blue card is easier than drawing a land. No, maybe not, actually. Maybe the answer is simply... Lurrus is on the other side. The answer might just simply be draw Mox. Snow-covered mountain. All right. I want to just present a Vault Key and see if we can win. Tundra, Ruby, Trainer. Squelcher. Okay, well, my force looks a little silly. All right, well, I don't think I'm beating that. And I missed on a mana anyways, so. Because I mulliganed to 5, I couldn't keep my mana and my force and my combo, so I had to pick one. I chose to keep my force and my combo, and I didn't hit the mana, and my force was not doing anything, so... I mean, this is a hand that makes PO look very powerful, I will say. But to be fair, I think any hand that has 4 Moxen in it is going to look powerful. Yeah, you got me. Alright, I will bring in Pyroblast. I think I'm going to bring in a Null Rod, but I don't think I want to bring in 2 Null Rods. I think I just want to have the ability to tutor for a Null Rod. And that's it. And then I'm going to take out Portable Hole, Basic Island, and Chain of Vapor. I don't think those cards matter at all. That seems reasonable. I could see bringing in a second Null Rod as well, but I don't think it's like as dire as like Jewel, and they have Flame of Anor and that kind of thing. Like if they Flame of Anor, killing your Null Rod and your Goblin Welder, like you're just gonna be so sad, man. I mean, you're gonna be sad no matter what, but you'll be super sad at that. I think, yeah, I don't know. I think having the option to tutor for Null Rod in spots where it makes sense is what I'm interested in here. I've never really felt that Null Rod was very good against the Jeskai PO deck. It feels weird, like, oh, they're playing PO, Null Rod has to be good, but like you just are a control deck that has a bigger mana base. Like sometimes a Null Rod will stop you, but not really. A lot of the time, the the opponent just like plays lands, plays stock ups, you lose. It's not a good place to be. I'll play this out, and I'm gonna hold on to the Time Walk for now. Leave myself with the ability to play Pyroblast. Jeez, Mana Crypt opener. Oh, and Mana Crypt Sapphire opener. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably play Jeskai PO if I could open with my opponent's artifact base every game. Swear to God, if my opponent plays stock up with Flusterstorm back up, I'll lose my mind. A Mana Vault. Okay. So both hands were pretty freaking powerful. I will go and get my Volcanic Island and Pyroblast this. Why we brought the Pyroblast in. My opponent's gonna be left with 3 more cards still after playing 7 mana on turn 1. Not bad. Soul Ring. Okay, here I think I'm interested in time walking, trying to build out my game plan. It's not like amazing or anything, but I also get to do quick fetch for Surveil land here, see if I can put a card in the yard that I don't want. PO. Well, I'll take a PO. I think I'm just going to PO for 2 here. It's not amazing or anything, but it's fine. Cool. So I'm setting up a win on the next turn, and I have Force still. So, well, I mean, if I don't really have Force still, but it's a mental misstep on my Soul Ring. Might be a mental misstep on my Soul Ring. No, I still can't play Engineer. Like I have to play Welder to like do the thing. So no mental misstep. So I don't actually have Force backup here for a combo because Sewer is part of my combo. But I will have, if Sewer resolves, and Engineer resolves, I will win the game. I guess I have to have Sewer resolve, Engineer resolve, and Cam resolve. So I guess maybe that's asking for a lot. Merchant Scroll. You got it. I assume PO for 3. Let's see if they have a Pyro or a Fluster backup for it. Just Ancestral. Well, like I said, I need this Cam. Because if I engineer for a Cam, I only have infinite white and colorless mana. I don't actually think that's good enough. Like, it buys me a Lurrus, but... yeah, I think I need to try to dodge a Fade on this recall so I can draw another blue card instead. I think I just have to. Okay, see what happens. I didn't draw a blue card anyways. So... I guess we see if our Engineer resolves. This might just get forced, in which case we just buy Lurrus. Did not get forced. What does that mean? So this means I do have infinite mana right now. But the problem is the infinite mana is so bad. The infinite mana is white and colorless. I feel like I just go Astrolabe, try to draw blue cards so I can play Surveillance Cam, and yeah. I think I'm just gonna go Astrolabe. Let me fetch away. Fetch away. So my goal here is gonna be change this into an Astrolabe, draw a blue card, then play Cam, and try to win. Key. I guess if they don't have a negation, this Cam still does it, right? I mean, I think I'm still going for it. Because this was a way where I could do the combo and still have a good engine. Ah, chain on my welder. Yep. I think I am going. I didn't fetch any. I think I'm gonna sack my Thundering Falls and bounce my Astrolabe. Let me filter for a blue mana first here, or maybe a red mana first here. Let's play a new Astrolabe with our snow mana. Okay. I didn't draw a blue card for force like I wanted to. But at least I have a Goblin Welder, I guess. Okay. I think that was an acceptable outcome, but I am now open to my opponent doing whatever they want. Notably, PO here doesn't let them replay Mox and Mana Sapphire, and they've already used Chain. But I was trying to draw additional blue cards, but my deck doesn't have a lot of blue cards is the problem. And we still have lethal on the table, so they drew flame off of their Thunder Trap Trainer, so now they can kill something and kill the... Yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. Like, how are you gonna try to play a creature-based deck against Flame of Anor, man? It's so good. I assume this is just like, oh, they just killed Welder, drew two? Interesting. Are they still POing? Like, there's a Vexing Bobble. Maybe they didn't think about the Vexing Bobble. Okay. I got a lot of options here. I have a lot of options here. Let's kind of stock up. There's my Time Vault. I just am out of mana, though. Just take Time Vault blue card. I know I can't force right now, but... So I could sack my Cam, untap my Engineer, returning a Pearl, which will give me more mana next turn, and I can still hold everything up. So I can just wait here. So I have a Vexing Bobble in play. I have a Goblin Engineer activation. I have Force if I get rid of my Bobble. Next turn, I should have enough mana. They can hard cast stuff now, so we'll see what happens. Hexing Squelcher. Just plays through Bobble and Force. Alright, well, I guess I'm dead. I can't win, man. I just can't win. I am forever forever going to have to just die to my own deck. This is my own fault. All right. Yeah. What's the point of having forces, man? All right. Hexing Squelcher. You'd see a lot more Hexing Squelchers if Vexing Bobble was a 4 of too. I still have lethal here. I probably can't resolve it anymore is the problem. Even if I get a turn. I'm pretty sure I don't want to play a Braids to kill Hexing Sculptures. I don't think like counters are a huge portion of my game plan here. They just have another PO. They have Snap. They have 1 Sapphire right now. Yeah, this might just be lost. I don't want to yield till end step because I might still want to do a Goblin Engineer activation if they go for something. It's kind of unfortunate. Want them play out a bunch of stuff first, though. All right. Oh, they picked up Snapcaster, and they have Merchant Scroll for another PO with Lotus, so looks lost. I might just need Mind Break Traps. Mind Break Trap is the solve here, right? Man. Oh, they should have another PO? Okay, just get me out of here, man. I'm out. Okay, let's try again. I think my opponent had some really strong hands last game, which was part of it, but what do I have here? Not great. Classic Urza Saga doesn't make the mana of a color that you want. I don't know. We'll see. 6-card mulligan, Lurrus from the opponent. C Spellbomb. Jeez, okay. All right. Stonks. Stonks is a good enough reason to walk here. Another island. I'll make my opponent have a wasteland. Stonks. Force, Astrolabe, Fetch, Opal. Interesting. Astrolabe. I guess there's no reason to have another Force. I'm not gonna make that. I'm not gonna ever have that many cards. I could go Astrolabe Opal. I think I'd like to have a blue card though. Let's go Astrolabe Chain. Astrolabe fixes us for red mana. Chain fixes us for force. Kind of assume I'm getting wastelanded here. Yeah. that slows my opponent down for a turn here. The spell bomb will be annoying. Definitely not playing a merchant scroll into a spell pierce here. I will play a soul ring into a spell pierce though. I want to get the engineer down. I guess this opens me up to fatal push, but I give a chain of vapor, I guess. So I'm gonna put a. Which one am I gonna put in my yard? So this is sack an artifact as part of the cost, so they can get whatever I put and whatever I sack. I think I'm just gonna put a surveillance cam in the yard. If they want to hit my one of my surveillance cams, I think that's acceptable. Obviously, it doesn't do anything on this board, but I kind of need to debate this spell bomb activation. They want to do it now because they want to use their mana, so this doesn't really hurt us. And next turn we can actually tutor for something we want, though there's not actually much we want, so that's kind of a hard part about this. We are overwhelmingly ahead at the moment. They can have Bowmaster, so we don't really want to go merchanting for PO or Ancestral right away here. If we engineer for a Legion Intruder, that might help actually, but we won't have another red mana to use it right away. So I think we're gonna set that up. Let's go with this. I'm gonna put a Legion Intruder in my yard. And then I think I'm gonna cast Merchant Scroll now. I'm just gonna get a PO. Then I'm gonna pass. So I'll have answers with I'll have multiple answers here to get this PO to get through. Yep, that's fine. Five cards for my opponent. They'll attack with this, I assume. No, not even gonna represent second Bowmaster. Okay. Am I waiting? I don't think I'm waiting. Let's just do it. Let's probably use the mana vault. All right, let's weld in this thing. Killing the Bowmaster. And then let's pick everything up. Hard cast negation. Pitch cast force. Got him. Okay. Not bad. We drew engineers instead of welders, and my opponent didn't get to pew pew them. A braid probably. And then maybe I'm not bringing in Lithomantic Barrages if I have a braids, because I want to take out forces. I feel like I want to bring in some Lithomantic Barrages. I usually don't like the artifacts that are super dependent on not being null rotted, though this is going to make us have less things go in the yard. Do want access to portable hole. I'm going to do this. See how that works. Seems like a reasonable thing. Okay, all right, okay. I assume this matchup is going to be one of our harder ones. That looks miserable. This is like kind of part of the reason I'm like, another reason I'm like off PO is I've become more upset about having drawing multiple POs. I did put 4 POs in this deck in comparison to DFA's list that had 3, to be fair. I don't know that I want this right now, because I think I'm going to fetch all of my basics to start. So, like, I'm probably not fetching Tundra, so... This is a hand that does not get an artifact into play, though. Basic Island. You have Ancestral, too? No. Alright. Drew a Pearl, so that's in play and in Graveyard. Let's go Basic Mountain. Let's play Pearl out. If they want to spell pierce this, that doesn't matter. Sells this player on Days. I'm traumatized from my Paper Days experience. I played against chess and paper. And Bastard dazed me for my 4th for 6. After he had no cards in hand, so... It was not great. It was a good little paper event. I'd like to start building them up. So if you're in the Northeast and you're not too far from Bellingham, Mass, we have these monthly-ish paper vintage events. Full proxy. You don't have to own any paper, any Magic cards, any Lotuses, any nothing. There's the Ancestral. It's a good time, and we play for pretty good stakes too. ELD has a great store full of old cards, so you can build up your store credit, get a good card. I'm on my way to trying to get towards either like getting a nicer Lotus or picking up some duels I don't have. So we can make infinite white mana here, which is not bad. I don't know if I'm gonna want blue or red. But I think we're gonna play an engineer. I think a fatal bowmaster kill my welder. Yeah, all right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's why welder sucks. My opponent has a creature that just one-shots it for fun. I still will put a surveillance cam in my yard, and I'm going to go to my second main in case they have another bowmaster before I play a welder here. Because if I play a welder here, they might just... Okay, they have fatal push as well. All right, so now I'll fetch out my other... oh, I don't have another basic mountain. Well, I guess it's going to be a volcanic island then. I definitely am playing a welder here. This will represent infinite white mana next turn. Which is just a Lurrus. But Lurrus replays Welder and Engineer finds a different card, so... Actually, it does actually represent lethal, because this is infinite white mana. I get to play Lurrus. I use my Lurrus to play Engineer. My Engineer plays an Extruder, and I win. So actually, it does represent lethal because of Lurrus. That's actually pretty sweet. Milda Spellbomb, interesting. Should attack both, probably. Oh. Alright, time to find out if my opponent's got anything. Should I Merchant Scroll for... No? Oh, I just drew another Engineer. Alright, well, that's a good backup plan. So I'm going to do white, this, cam. Save targets, that thing. Always yes, always yield. Cam, pearl. I should pop this out, I think, over here. Stay over here. It's actually pretty easy to do. Buy Lurrus. Play Lurrus. This is my bait for engineer. Lurrus gets forced. That's fine. Play second engineer. Got there. Wow, that was sick. When this thing works, it's really nice. So the Lurrus is a nice addition against this, especially against blue-black, where they're attacking my creatures. But we did draw on, what, 4 creatures and a Lurrus this game. Very highly unlikely. But, yeah, I mean, very impressive win. This deck had a nice win here. All right, 3-1. Welcome to round 5. So far, honestly, so far so good. I've been pretty impressed with how this deck performed this league. I was really sad about the Lurrus PO match, but I think it's one of those matches you need to kind of let roll over you, roll off you. Well, I mean, they did roll over me, but roll off you. Because my opponent's hands were insane, right? There was it was Mana Crypt Sapphire start in game 2, and it was Quad Mox in game 1, and yeah, I think you just let that happen. All right, looks like Dredge from the opponent. 21 cards are Serum Powdered. We have a turn 2 win. So, yeah. See what their hand ends up looking like. They're mulliganing to 6 at the moment. Unfortunately, Dredge mulling to 6 on the play with a guaranteed Bazaar basically is probably not favored for us, even though we have a turn 2 kill. Only 1 Force of Will is gone. 2 negations are gone. Chalice is gone. I'm gonna say 2 of the hollow ones are gone. Have my Tundra. Can't cast the Astrolabe. Lotus. Welder. Hoping the Welder resolves and they are forced to counter the engineer, and then we have the sewer anyways. No, they just forced the Welder. Okay. That makes sense. So I guess I just start putting Volt Key pieces into my yard. It's just going to be too slow is the problem. I'm surprised they forced the Welder. I was really hoping they'd force the engineer after we drew the cam. I don't know that chaining this hollow one is going to buy me a lot of time. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play engineer, spinning. I think it has to be Volt Key. See if we can get to Volt Key. And then I will tap down their hollow one. Okay, so they didn't have double Bazaar at least. Two Narcomoebas. Not the worst for us. And a Vault. Our mana situation is actually really bad. Our mana situation is not good. They hit a chill, which will bring back the 2 ghouls. Yeah, it's pretty bad for me. Yeah, I mean, my opponent countered the right card for this set of cards. It's weird that you would counter Welder, because I guess I could have welded out hollow one, so that's a kind of a consideration. Where like engineer, if I had a Soul Guide Lantern in my deck, I could tutor up a Soul Guide Lantern, you know? I guess at that point it doesn't really matter. It's too late. I just, this is overwhelming. I don't have any red mana. Looks lost. PO. Don't have the ability to play Astrolabe because I drew my Tundra or my Volk. Yeah. See. Block. 1, 2, 5, 8, 11. Any chill. Guess yeah. Any chill gets me. None yet. There's only one chill left in the deck. All right. I live another turn here. I have to block the hollow one. The reason I played this out is because I can theoretically they can miss on that chill, and then I can draw like a sapphire, and maybe we can go off with a PO or something. Feels like the only way. Like the PO into Tolarian, Time Walk, something like that. Sure. Here, untap that. I drew a tap land and nothing good anyways, so. Yeah, I don't know. That one was rough, but I think it makes sense. I'm going to take in these 3 pieces of Dredge hate. I think most games of Dredge, we're just going to try to be combo opponent, but having these options is nice. I shouldn't need Portable Hole or Chain. Like, technically, you want to have an answer to Chalice, but Welder can kind of do that, so... And we're on the draw, so I kind of just want to take out Portable Hole, Chain, and an Island. Don't know that Legion Extruder is that good here, but it's nice to have... These cards are all just so bad. Like, I could technically play Pyroblasts, but I feel like Pyroblast is actually kind of narrow. I got Thundering Falls. I think that's fine. It's not... Obviously, it's worse than not being a Thundering Falls, but... I think it's acceptable. Let's see if Tormod's Grip resolves. See if Bobble resolves. See if... I don't know if it matters. Look at my top card. Astrolabe. Oh, definitely been the Astrolabe. Alright. I still have a Force. I still have a Needle. I have a Welder, and I have a Crypt. I mean, it's pretty good. Obviously... I mean, you might not even want to play both Crypt out and Needle out if this was, like I say, it was a basic island, right? I would like to play Welder out, though. That's a pretty big one. Welder wouldn't, you know, couldn't play Welder off Basic Island. This actually replaced a Basic Island in my list, so that's why I'm saying Basic Island. Hollow one is fine. I'm not too worried about a hollow one. I think I'm interested in Welder this turn. Oh, man, I do need to draw mana, though. Over a Needle for similar reasons. Vigor. Force this back for sure. Okay, Welder. Right. Let's see. Opponent you're gonna activate an upkeep. You're gonna slow dredge. Probably slow dredge. Yeah, 5 dredging here. Hits a Narcomoeba. That's not enough for me. No dredgers in my opponent's yard right now. There's a serum powder, though, so I can weld the hollow one for a serum powder, which is quite a powerful play here in a slower game. It's a cool game. Volcanic Island. Okay. I will play out my needle. They'll activate in response. We'll play forward from there. The worst case scenario here is a Vigor. They brought in Leyline. That makes sense. All right. It's bizarre. Baghdad is turned off. Do you have a Vigor or no? Okay. Dredge. Chill. Just a chill. I think that's fine. Nice and easy here. 1 damage. I'm gonna weld this hollow one out for a serum powder. Okay. I think we're pretty stable here. Oh, there's a ghoul. Nah. Maybe I should have hit the chill then. I mean, a ghoul is... We can deal with a ghoul, I think. That is winning. Okay. So let me weld this for this. Keep this fucking out. Draw. I guess it has to resolve, to be fair. Let me cast Ancestral. Okay. Oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. I guess it's fine. And then I will cam. Save targets. Always yes. Always yield. Weld out cam for crypts. Weld out Astrolabe for cam. And then weld out Astrolabe for cam. And then I drop it through my deck. And then I weld out my Bauble. And I play all my Moxen. And I vault key my opponent. Okay. I like that. I'm going to put the chain back in so I have an answer to Leyline. Okay. The cat. Force, Bobble, Bomble, Saga, Engineer. Probably a mulligan. On the play, I might keep this hand with a Saga that can complete, but not really doing anything powerful here. This one looks better. Should get rid of the Stellarian Academy. Don't think that's helping me at all. Pass. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to play out a Goblin Welder before a Soul Guide Lantern here. I got misstepped. Okay. Next turn I have Welder Lantern. Not bad. See how much I can take, how much damage I take from this, though. Oh, unfortunate. It's Icarid, Golgari, Grave Troll, Golgari Thug. Okay, triple amalgam. Oh, yeah, we're dead. Yep, we're dead. Okay, cool. I mean, not much I could have done here. Even if I had led Lantern, my opponent had mental misstep, and I didn't have a blue card, so. This is, like 6 creatures coming in or something. I go to 14. It's a bajillion power. Another chill. 14, 11. Amalgams. Okay, I'm dead. I'm not dead on that turn, but I can't win, so. I guess, like, technically, I mean, maybe I could draw Ancestral Lotus Time Walk, Volkey, something. I don't know. It's fine. I don't really need to be here anymore. All right. 3-2. Losing to Dredge, where I think it was mostly a play draw thing. We don't have, like, the most Dredge hate. We're kind of banking on the fact that our combo is quite good against them. And our Dredge hate was enough in game 2. But in game 3 on the draw, like, we don't have Leyline. So our spell got, we didn't have force to protect our, Lantern. If I had a force backup, would I have played Lantern on turn 1? Probably not. Like, I probably wouldn't have played Lantern on turn 1 regardless, because I think I just have to play the game like my opponent's not going to kill me on turn 2 for the most part. I mean, it just so happened that the cards they pitched were 10 Dredge and an Icarid, which is like the worst case scenario. Maybe should be expected considering my opponent didn't activate on their turn, but yeah. I would expect the Dredge matchup to be pretty good in general, but it is, light, and we are banking on our combo wins in game 1. And we had some opportunity to combo win in game 1. Our opponent's hand was just like a little bit too much for what we had going on there. So I wouldn't write off the Dredge matchup. I think that one might still be fine. I would say the Lurrus PO matchup looked abysmal, but again, I don't want to write it off of one game, considering my opponent had extremely heavy mocks in hands. I was very impressed with Cam Welder in every scenario, basically. I was very impressed with Engineer for the most part. I was not super impressed with PO, even though it did win us some games. I was impressed with Lurrus. I think Lurrus was quite good. It's hard to not play PO here because, like, what are we doing if we're not playing this PO? We're playing, what, Lorien Revealed and maybe trimming on a land and, like, fitting in, we have to have enough blue cards, so, like, you have to play blue cards here. Like, it's just a powerful enough card. Like, obviously, we could, like, play less POs and play some Lorien Reveals, build out our mana base, maybe play a new cam. So, like, you could go -1 outcome, +1 cam, -1 outcome, +1 Lorien. That might make the deck slightly better. I could see it. Thundering Falls was great the one time it been an artifact where we had no artifacts in our yard, and it was not great the one time that we played it and it was a tap land. However, the game we played it as a tap land, it didn't actually cost us the game at all. It was totally fine. And the game that it put a mox in, it might have technically won the game. So, we're always keeping our classic Surveil land evaluation, even though I'm pretty sold on the card type in general. Even this deck, which is wants red mana on turn 1, like, it's funny because the decks that want the mana on turn 1 are also the decks that utilize the graveyard the best, it seems. So it's very interesting push and pull. So I think I'm interested in getting a cam back in. So if I had to change cards, I would probably cut 2 POs, play a cam, and play a Lorien Revealed. That's how I'm feeling. Like, I feel like 4 POs here. I just didn't feel very good. But if you're going that many POs down, you might be able to cut this Opal. And then you can play a Mishra's Bauble number 3 to make your combo better. Like, this just makes your combo better. Yeah. This was fun. I don't know that I'm sold on this deck as a showcase contender, but it's certainly powerful, so. And the Welder combo is a lot of fun. I don't know how many more videos I can make of the Welder combo deck now. We are on 3 in a row. But it is by far the most interesting card, this Surveillance Cam, for vintage applications. So if you have another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles card that you want to see played in Vintage, let me know in the comments below. And there will be new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll see you then.